I'll make this look like
What is up, Professor Akali Nation? I'm your host, Professor Akali. Let's get right into the news. And for our first story, and also coincidentally our only story, there has been a new post from a rioter, I believe Riot Scruffy, who is on the development team, came out with a post on the League of Legends website, which has been broken down into Surrender 20 along with more information, pretty much just explaining what's going on in Season 9. There are some pretty huge changes going on in the way League of Legends is going to be played as a whole. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into this. So here we go with the first thing. Here's Riot Scruffy with a new post on preseason changes, which is what leads into Season 9, and what upcoming changes we can expect. Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks since I gave a rundown on our plans for the rest of the year and preseason. I wanted to come back with an update and sneak peek a bunch of ideas we're testing right now. We're aiming this preseason to improve the quality of time spent in League of Legends games and keep you fighting for a win instead of stuck in a lost game. Our 4 main goals are listed below with their corresponding changes. Change number 1, or goal number 1 rather. Laning phase is improved and slightly longer. So some of the early concepts which are above is Sion bashing an outer turret prototype, which is below. So this is what they want to do. They're adding more armor on top of the turret. And as you guys can see here, there are little icons or emblems rather. So outer turrets now start the game with a barricade that adds 5 small health bars on top of the turret's main health. Each piece of the barricade can be destroyed and rewards the local player some gold. Roughly around the 10-minute mark, these barricades go away, removing both the extra defense and the opportunity for the gold rewards. So basically, let's just go on. This is giving us more protected and slightly longer laning phases, but still rewards those early push or strong lane types with the opportunity to destroy a lot of barricade segments and reap the gold rewards. On top of that, we're finding that there are a lot of interesting new small moments of back and forth under the turret trying to destroy as many barricade pieces as you can. Additionally, we're exploring some of the slight damage increases on turrets in the early game so you can tower dive, so that tower dives aren't more powerful. We still like them to be present, but there are cases right now where it seems like the attacker isn't taking enough risk. Case in point, when you play Akali and try to dive them, and then you just use your shroud and you don't take damage. Anyways, so for this entire change with the turrets, it looks like they want to make the laning phase last longer, which is what they mentioned, and they still want to reward people by giving them an opportunity to break these barricades, give them that gold, reward them, but still you don't want the turrets to be broken so early. You want to keep that pressure from the side waves going on. So I think that's their mentality for that. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. So the next thing is that comebacks are more achievable and satisfying. They want that to happen. It's worth noting that the lane phase changes mentioned above are actually doing some good work for us here. Fewer early first tower takes are preventing cases where a big gank leads into big gold, leads to winning lanes, start roaming the map, and crushing lanes that were otherwise going even. So basically, the fact that you can't take first turret gold as quickly means that you're not going to snowball as hard with the first turret gold, you're not going to be able to just roam around and start smashing other lanes, and games are going to be more relevant. You can come back off of winning or losing a lane rather. Another significant change that we're currently testing is allowing bounties to scale off of more than just kills. Bounties have been a good tool for us because killing a powerful enemy is both skillful and leads to actively fighting for a comeback rather than passively farming. Especially in higher level play, a lot of the game's snowball is coming from non-kill places, so we think it's an improvement to the system to integrate all of the gold sources. We're doing this carefully so that we don't end up punishing players for farming, which you should still do. Overall, we want bounties to increase slightly, so may lower kill bounties to compensate for the new system. So they're basically saying they're thinking maybe if you're a really high level or you get like 100 CS in a row without dying, you get a small bounty on you. Instead of just getting kill streaks and then being a bounty, they want different ways for you to become a bounty worth more gold. So they're also testing some reduction in global tower gold, as it's one of our most powerful snowball resources currently and de-emphasizes the individual differences between players on the team. I think that's a good idea too. So the third thing, they want decided games to resolve faster. Melee and cannon minions' health scales up much higher in the mid and late game. These changes allow games to end more naturally, and we've been seeing fewer games where a team has clearly lost but it drags on for too long because wave clear is stalling out every wave, or that head team has to wait for Baron to respawn. Completely agree with this. I hate when games just drag out because of, just nonsense. And this is the fourth thing, which I think is potentially the most game breaking. Rune paths no longer dictate stat bonuses. We're testing new independent stat choices on every rune page. Still working out the details between 2 or 3 choices, but tests on both have been very promising. The stat choices are categorized into offensive and defensive stats. Both systems incentivize or require some mixing of offense and defense. We think this does good things for the game in rounding out players' offense and defense, while also leaving room for some pretty sharp builds for players that want to invest in one or the other. The current stat options we're testing, they want offensive, which is attack damage, AP, attack speed, and CDR, or defensive, which is armor, magic resist, scaling health, and health regen. It kind of seems like they might be wanting to not revert completely the runes before they change it to just, electrocute and whatnot, but they might be trying to head back in that direction. I'm not exactly sure, but all I know is rune changes will be very drastic no matter what. And miscellaneous, they're moving, and actually this is very huge. This is actually one of the biggest things too. They're moving the minion spawn and monster spawn times about 30 to 40 seconds earlier. They want to leave room for invades and other interesting early strategies, but in 95% of games they found, players just end up waiting around 30 seconds, and it's boring. So in an effort to make League the best game it can be for the vast majority, we think streamlining this phase lets you get to the fun quicker. They want to appeal to casuals by, taking out more opportunity for level 1 play. TLDR that for you guys. So yeah, that is the main post that Riot Scruffy made, but there's also a few things he replied to, which is why I'm on surrender@20.net and not the League of Legends post. So they actually replied to a bunch of comments. When asked about the changes to minion and monster spawns and how it could affect jungle champions who use the time to their advantage, Riot Scruffy commented, so by the way, he's referring to champions like Shaco, Maokai, the champions that build up, because they need that extra time to build up their army of saplings or J-boxes. We will definitely be considering it. Whenever we do system changes like these, there is some splash damage on champions that have been using things the old way. We usually try to take a look at whoever has been affected in a negative way. They're basically saying we're going to be looking into buffing Shaco and Maokai because we understand it's beneficial to them to set up early. As for loading times, Riot Scruffy replied, and this is minor, but he said, we're currently and always looking into fixing and improving the load times people are experiencing in load screen and right when they load in. This is actually, even though it's minor, not that important for League, it's huge because I don't know about you guys, but literally I am getting such stupidly long loading screens lately, and it doesn't seem like it was always like that. I don't know, but what do you guys think? Comment down below if you've been getting crazy load times lately. Anyways, let's move down, and I'm actually going to skip this next one right here, but if you want to read it, feel free to pause and then continue on. So we have the next thing, Maple Nectar, which is another writer, noted jungle spawn timers probably wouldn't be changed. Will be highly unlikely to touch spawn timers of jungle camps. We played around a ton of different timings during mid-season, and even small deviations from current values resulted in AFK farming being the correct go-to strategy when trying to win. They're basically saying they're not going to make the jungle spawn any faster, not going to make it spawn any slower. They like how fast it spawns. He also noted that there were no current plans for any new keystones. No plans currently. We want to first open up the system, wider choice of players before adding more into the system. And yeah, so they're just not going to add any more keystones. I'm not going to actually read over this because it's a support item. You guys can pause here. Moving on. Another thing to note is when Maple Nectar commented on earlier start times and AFK players. And he said, yes, we are doing some investigation into some of the more egregious or intense cases in regions around the world, so we're not inadvertently ruining games for folks that load in slow. They're not going to start the game before people even load in. Luckily, it's also a really easy thing to revert without having many knock-on effects for other stuff in flight for preseason. Basically, they're saying if this doesn't work out for them, it's only preseason, the rank doesn't matter, so this is a good time for them to test it out. The next thing is that Riot Scruffy commented that they are looking into the systems behind minions getting stronger for winning teams. And that's what we talked about earlier. Minions are getting much stronger because they don't want games to drag out. They want when you're ahead and you have minions under the enemy turret, they want them to be stronger. And he said, we're actually looking at that system. Currently testing a more unified version where minion speeds scale up with the game time rather than just turrets killed in the lane, which advantages winning teams a lot. Don't know exactly what this means, but you know, it is what it is. Riot Scruffy also commented on the rune stat choices. We're trying to keep the stat choices simple and clear, so we want to limit the amount of options to 3 to 4 offensive and 3 to 4 defense currently. We're still iterating on and testing the different choices, so honorable mention stats that we've considered but aren't currently on top picks include things like pen and scaling resist. I hope they get hybrid pen. I'm just saying as an Akali meme. But yeah, and then the last thing is, I don't know how to say his name, but he's a writer, and he noted that something for AP fighters that was being looked at. Speaking to the AP fighter itemization, such as champions like, I guess, Akali, Soul Crush and I are looking at something as a slow burn project to address this itemization hole. I have no clue what that means. I'm excited though, as long as it means another item and not nerfing anything else. Sounds good to me. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. This has been another episode of League News, aka PPE updates, aka I don't even know what this is, Drama Professor Akali Alert Nation. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in a new one. Peace.